I haven't gone. I've never gone public with the story on social media. I kind of like kept it, private amongst close friends and family, and so. But I thought this was like a perfect platform to, to express it, to tell y'all, and just get y'all's thoughts on on my experience and my encounter.
Awesome. Well, thanks for wanting to share it with us.
Sure, sure, man. Hey, um, it was about 15 years ago, maybe like about 2011, I would say. And so I'm located in South Texas, and I was driving home, and I was with a friend of mine, and so it was already nighttime, or the nighttime had already kicked in, and so it was about an hour drive home, and I guess we were about 20 minutes, 15 away from the house. So by the time I was getting close, the nighttime had already kicked in, so it was already dark. And so in this area, in the at least in the South Texas area, there's these owls. They call them lechusas. They're big, these are really big birds, big owls. They have a big wingspan of about the size of a vehicle, like a
Hmm.
truck, like a big truck. And usually they're brown. They have like a light brown, whitish look to it. And um, we're driving home, and we're conversating here and there, whatever. By this time, conversation had already died down. The radio was low, and coming up on a curve, and as the curve is straightening out to the road, in the distance, I saw this object, right, and immediately I assumed that it was like a lechusa on the ground. That's what I usually call them, lechusa. And or vultures, maybe a vulture. We really don't have vultures, but usually it's those things. Then, and it was probably like I was thinking maybe it was eating carcass on the road,
Mm-hmm.
like roadkill. And so like I said, by this time the conversation had already died down between my friend, and like I said, this is nighttime. And y'all still there?
Oh yeah, we're
Yeah.
listening, dude. I'm
Oh,
I'm in
oh,
I'm
oh,
in
okay,
I'm
okay,
in
okay,
I'm plugged in.
okay, cool, man. So immediately I thought by default, okay, this Lechusa, it's hanging out on the road. Eventually, as we get closer, it's gonna fly off. It's gonna fly away. Because we're already approaching. Usually something that's on the road, whether it's an animal or a bird, it flies away immediately because it sees us. It sees the headlights. It sees the vehicle. It senses us coming in fast, and we're going probably like about 50, 60 miles an hour. And so, like I said, I immediately thought that that's what it was, a lechusa. And so I just looked at it, and but this thing is not moving, right? And I'm like, okay, but in my head, what I mean? I don't even stop to look at my friend or talk to my friend or whatever. I'm locked in, like, what is this thing, right? So I'm like, okay, but I don't slow down. I don't slow down at all, right? Which was weird because I'm going, I'm going, and I'm like, okay, this thing is not moving. It's not flying away, like, okay, well, what's going on, and I'm just trying to process everything as I'm driving. And what was weird about this whole thing was that from the moment um I got, from the moment we were distant and to the moment where we were so close to, I would say maybe like about, I don't know, uh, probably like about a vehicle, two vehicles distance away from it. Um, it basically, it was like a trance because I didn't, I didn't stop. Usually you see something road, say if it was a person or an animal, you stop and like, hey, this thing's in the way. Hope, like I slowed down, but I didn't, which was weird. You know what I mean? I did not slow down. And I'm like, okay, well, but the thing was, as I was looking at it, it was just bright. And it's not raining, there's no smoke in the air, it's not cloudy, there's no fog, there's nothing. It's just dark. And of course, at night, the headlights only cover so much area because before it gets dark, right? And so, we're talking about a back road. We're not talking about like in a city or anything amongst other like, you know, traffic. There's no traffic. It's a back road. It's a two-way road, right? And I'm like, so the, you know, I'm trying to process this thing, and it's like, okay, it's not making sense to me at this point. It's not making any sense at all. And I'm trying, I'm just trying to. I'm like, okay, like what's going on here,
Did it look like anything in that moment to you?
Well, that's what, like I said, at first I thought it was a bird. I thought it was that owl on the road, and like I said, it would fly. But this thing, what was weird about it, what I first noticed that threw me off was that this thing was not on the ground. It was hovering above the ground,
How far off the
and
ground?
I would say I would say about maybe about 10 feet high at the most. At maybe 12 feet high. Maybe like the size of a vehicle, yeah, about 10, 20 feet high
And
at
what
the
kind of
most.
car were you driving?
I was a truck.
Okay.
And like I said, I'm going about 60, more or less, 50, 60 more or less. And I'm driving two-way road, dark, back road, Texas back road, dark, right? And like I said, what threw me off was that it didn't move and it was hovering over the ground. And where I started to where it started to throw me off more was that I started noticing colors, not solid colors, but illuminating colors, right? And that at that point, when I started noticing these illuminating colors, that's where I felt like, well, what was weird was that, like I said, I did not stop. Like I didn't stop to be like, well, what, like, hey, what, talk to my friend or anything. I didn't even talk to him at all throughout this whole time. From the moment that I noticed this thing, I didn't, hey, what's that?
Did you
Hey, what's going on?
did you look
Hey,
at
what is
did
this?
you look at your friend while
I
you were
didn't even
looking
look
at?
at him. We were both in that same, how would,
You said like a
like a
trance,
trance, like
right?
a trance.
And
Like
when
we
you
were just,
say when you say this thing was hovering, you mean like at first? Because at first you thought it was some big bird, this huge owl. And
yeah.
when it's hovering, are there wings involved in this, or is it sort of just
No, there's
floating
no
there?
wings. This thing it's just an unfamiliar object, right? And I'm like, okay, you know what I mean? Like when I noticed that this thing didn't fly away, and when I noticed that it was hovering over the ground, that's where I started to, think, okay, this is not normal. And at that point, from the moment that I noticed that, eventually, of course, I'm going. I didn't even brake. I didn't slow down, which was weird about that whole situation. I didn't slow down. I didn't talk to my friend. I didn't look at him. I didn't say nothing. I'm just going. And like I said, uh, I am like, I'm just trying to register. I'm trying to process what I'm seeing, right? Because it's like nothing that, like I've never uh experienced
Did you
before.
talk to
You
your
know what I mean?
friend after when you drove away?
Okay, okay. Here comes the interesting part. The moment I snapped out of it was the moment where I was like about two vehicles away, distance away. I snapped out of it, and that's where the image came to with the closest up to the point where, like I said, I snapped out of it, and there was a like the image came to something that I could compare it to when it, and well, like to the like I said, this happened about 15 years ago, right? And to this day, like the flashes of that memory still, I would, haunt me, traumatize me, however you want to put it.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like I said, when I snapped out of it, I swerved, and good thing there was no oncoming vehicle that, because I swerved into the other lane and swerved around it, and so this thing pretty much covered almost the whole road. So I swerved around it, right? And I didn't, thank goodness I didn't lose control. So I was like, and at that point, when I snapped out of it, I kind of, yelled or whatever. It was like, oh, wow, like I just kind of reacted, right? My friend's like, oh, and I swerved around it. And I was like, then luckily I got control of my truck and I got back on the road, right? And then that's when I started looking at my friend. I started yelling. I started saying, "What the fuck was that? What the fuck was that? What the fuck was that?" This guy, I don't mean to cuss, but that's what I was express. That's how I
Mm-hmm.
was expressing myself. That's what I was saying,
Did it
right?
have a shape, like a certain
Okay,
shape you can describe?
yeah, okay. So, like I said, when I snapped out of it, that's when the image came to something that where I got the clearest image of something that I can compare it to. And what my friend said when I said, "What the fuck was that?" He said, "It looked like a jellyfish." And like I said, when we finally, so when I finally snapped out of it and swerved around it, I still have that memory. Now, of course, I have like a blurry memory, but I know what I saw. And like I said, it looked like a jellyfish, and it was transparent. It had colors to it. It had it had the top body. It had the bottom body where it trickles down, and of course, it was not on the ground. It was hovering on the ground.
Have you seen anything
And
like this in the news or online?
never before, never after to this day.
Hmm.
Never,
Did
never, never, never.
when you started like cursing after you drove right past it, did you have any sense of like dread in you, or like what were you?
Man, I was so freaked out. I was so freaked out. I felt like a chill in my body.
Hmm.
Like, I don't know. I don't know
Did you
what. I
experience
don't know
any?
how.
Did you experience any missing time?
That was so weird.
Because the
What's
trance is
so
weird.
okay? Look, exactly. Why didn't I stop? Why didn't I stop to be like, hey, what is that? Hey, you know what I mean? From a distance, you know what I mean?
Do you
But
have?
what was weird about the whole thing was that I got so close to it where I snapped out of it.
Mhm. Do you have theories about what you think it is? Was?
I don't know. All I know is that. All I know is that, and that every day since that day up until now, I have flashes of memory. Of course, I do whatever I got to do. I work, I do whatever, I hang out, do whatever I do.
Hmm.
But I still have flashes of that memory. And to be honest, just it kind of drives me crazy, man. And when I came, like, I follow, I tune into the Timcast IRL, whatever, and I check it out time to time. And then I came across your platform, right?
Hmm.
Recently. I don't know how long y'all been doing this show, but I was like, this pretty cool. You know what I mean? A pretty cool show, And I barely started tuning in recently,
Well, thank
and
you.
y'all
I
started,
mean,
huh?
I the jellyfish thing, I mean, we've pulled up stories about jellyfish UFOs. Those ones that we've talked about, I think are easy to dismiss because I don't know if they're anything, but there is people talking about jellyfish UFOs out there. And, I don't know what they are. I don't know what they claim to be. These people who see these videos, there's people who think it's extraterrestrial. There's people who think it's some technology we just don't know about. But, we do have a lot of stories of people who have seen things and gotten close to things, different shapes than what you're describing. And there's some sort of trance-like or missing time scenario. Do you talk to your friend still, and do you ever bring it up with him?
You know what? I had talked to him time after time. It's been a while since I talked to him. I still have him on Facebook, but I remember one time, like years after that, we actually had a conversation, and then he just brought up, he's like, what if we just disappeared
In
and
that
there was no
trance?
trace, there was no trace of us,
Mm,
of the truck or us.
right, right.
You know what I mean? I was like, that I was like, wow, that I never thought that, you know what I mean? But I'm glad that that didn't happen because of, we're still here, you know what I mean? But what was weird about it, I dropped them off. I came home. I went to bed, whatever. I woke up. That was the first thing on my mind. And so I had to call my friend in the morning because I thought it was a dream. I was like, man, no, no, no. It's like, this is a dream. So it was the first thing on my mind. I woke up and I called him. I was like, hey, man, did did we see that thing last night? And he's like, yeah, yeah, we saw it. We saw it, man. And and he's like, yeah, man, it looked like a jellyfish. And when he said it, when he like right when they first happened, he said, I don't know, man, it looked like a fucking jellyfish. I was like, holy shit, that's what the fuck I thought I saw too,
Did it
you
look
know?
organic, or did it look like some sort of like technology or structure to it?
No, 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 no. It didn't have like a it looked organic. It looked, like I said, transparent, floating, colors to it. It had everything. It had the top part where it lights up a lot, and that's where it illuminated the most. That's where the colors were coming out the most. And it had everything where it trickles down. You know what I mean? The bottom part were just, all these lines or whatever in the
Hmm.
towards the bottom. And oh man, dude.
Well,
Man,
that's crazy.
even
I wish we had some answers for you. I mean, all I can say is you can go online. You'd be curious. I'm curious what you would think if you look up the jellyfish UFO videos. There's like I think at least two, and who knows how real they are. But they are the two that I'm thinking of came through this UFO committee and the whistleblowers. And I'm curious if you look them up and see what you think and if it reminds you of
you
what you
know,
saw.
I think I came across one that I think it came out within the last 2 years. They said it was balloons,
Hmm.
but they said they saw it somewhere like in Iraq or something like that, and it was
Hmm.
just floating or whatever. It was like a footage from like a drone or a
Yes.
helicopter,
Yep.
and it had that black and white. It was not color footage. It was actually like kind of like black and white.
Yeah, it's bad
Something like
footage.
from a drone or from a helicopter or something like that.
Yep.
And but that's the only thing that I was like, oh, that like kind of looks like it, but you know what I mean? That's coming from a different point of view. From what
Well,
I saw, I've never.
hey man, I wish we could tell you something concrete. I wish we had better answers for you, but I appreciate you sharing the story. And if
No problem, man.
something jogs your memory, or if you see some other stuff, because this jellyfish thing, I feel like it's not the end of that story. I don't know what it is, but there are people talking about it, like there are people talking about Tic Tacs and saucers and all that stuff. The shapes are fascinating, triangles, cubes. So give us a call back if you think of something else, or if you happen to talk to them, has another angle on it. But I appreciate the phone
Yeah,
call.
I'm gonna let him know about the show, and then
Yeah,
I'll have him
awesome.
call, or tune in, and then maybe he'll get a call in or whatever. But yeah, man, I just wanted to, call in and express that to y'all. Like I said, man, I have flashes of that thing, and I don't know what y'all's relationship with religion and God. I know people. They do it every day. You know what I mean? They do their prayers every day. To be honest, it changed my life. I don't even. And not to say that I don't believe anymore, but I believe in that. Before anything else, I believe in that. To be honest, I believe in that more than I believe in any religion. I believe in that.
Well, I
Of
wouldn't
course,
let it.
I believe in people. I
I
believe in people. I believe in the sun. I believe in like the animals, the plants, and I believe in what I saw more than
I
anything
wouldn't
else
let
that
it.
people.
I'll just say my 2 cents is I wouldn't let it discourage you from believing in things.
No, what? No, exactly. No, no.
In terms of
And that's
God,
not to say, what I'm saying is I believe more that than anything else.
right? Like your
You know what I
experience, you
mean?
experience something and it's haunting you and you can't get it out of your mind. Well, it is
Yeah,
a
yeah.
certainly a very haunting image to come across, and I appreciate you sharing the story, man. And like I said, tell your friend. We'll talk to him too. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I'll let them know, man. But thanks, guys,
Thanks, man.
for letting me talk about that with y'all, man. But y'all have a
Absolutely.
good night, man, and we'll see how it goes, man.
Yeah, man. Be
We'll see
safe out
how
there.
we'll see how this thing, that thing that y'all talking about that's coming around that spaceship or whatever in December or something like that.
Dude.
That's weird. That is
At
weird
this
stuff right
rate,
there, man.
Avi Loeb in about a week will tell us it's a jellyfish.
Wouldn't be
Man, who
surprised.
knows? Who knows, man?
All right,
But
thanks for
anyways,
calling in,
guys,
man.
y'all have a good night, man.
You
See you,
too.
man.